My name is Emily Lane, and until a few months ago, I lived a quiet, ordinary life in a small apartment with my boyfriend Carter. What Carter never knew, what nobody in my life really knew, was that my father is one of the biggest property owners in the city. He owns hundreds of buildings, malls, complexes, and he prefers to stay invisible, just the way I like it. I never wanted to be treated differently. I never wanted people to pretend to love me because of wealth. But hiding my background came with consequences, painful ones. We need to talk. Those 4 words from Carter ruined my entire day. When I came home that night, I found him packing. Not casually. No, he was stuffing his clothes into a suitcase like the building was on fire. Carter, what's going on? I asked. He didn't even look at me at first. I'm leaving, Leaving as in taking space? I whispered. No. Leaving the relationship. The ground tilted under my feet. What? Why? He sighed dramatically, like he was the victim. I can't stagnate anymore. I need to move up in life, Emily. I need someone who understands ambition. I frowned. I support your dreams more than anyone. He cut me off. You don't have the connections, You don't come from the kind of world I need to be in. I stared at him, confused and hurt. Carter, are you breaking up with me because I'm not rich? He didn't answer. He didn't need to. Who is she? I asked, feeling my throat close up. He hesitated, then said, Ava. I'd never heard the name before. She believes in my future. Her father wants to invest in my startup. This is my chance, Emily. I can't throw it away. And you're willing to throw me away instead? I whispered. He zipped his suitcase. You'll be okay. You're nice, sweet, good-hearted. But I want more. There it was. The sentence that burned itself into my soul. You're good, but not enough. He walked past me, suitcase rolling behind him, and left the apartment. Left our life. Left me. I stood frozen for at least an hour, staring at the door, feeling my heart break in slow motion. 2 weeks later, I learned who Ava really was. Her last name was Harrington, as in the Harrington Empire, worth billions. Luxury hotels, tech parks, international resorts, you name it. Carter's Instagram made it even worse. Photos of him and Ava on yachts, at private dinners, in designer outfits. All with captions like, right person, right time. Finally found someone who elevates me. Elevates me. Like I was a floor he had outgrown. I didn't cry anymore. That phase had passed. Now, all that was left was silence and a slow burning anger. And then, karma knocked. My dad invited me to dinner at his office. He was working late, going through property files. I sat with him, helping him sort paperwork, when he pushed a folder toward me. Take a look at this tenant case, he said. Quite a situation. I opened the file. The address was familiar. Too familiar. Carter's apartment building. My pulse quickened. I scanned the file. The tenant in Unit 3B, Carter's unit, is 6 months behind on rent, had ignored 3 notices, had requested exceptional leniency. I had asked for permission to host a VIP investor dinner on the rooftop to secure urgent funding. I nearly stopped breathing. Carter had left me for a billionaire's daughter, bragging about his new life, while secretly drowning in debt in a building my father owned. And he had no idea. Dad tapped the file. This tenant thinks he's close to landing a big investor, wants to throw some fancy event on the rooftop. But unless he pays out, he's out. I swallowed hard. What's his name? Dad asked casually. My mouth opened, but the truth jammed in my throat. If Dad knew it was Carter, he'd evict him immediately. He'd block the event. He'd crush Carter's little opportunity. And part of me wanted that. Oh, I wanted that so badly. But I wasn't ready for my dad to know the whole story yet. So I lied. I don't remember his name. But yeah, seems messy. Dad shrugged. Not my problem if he loses his investment deal. Rules are rules. I nodded, closing the file slowly. But inside me, something awakened. Power. For the first time, I held the match that could burn Carter's fragile new world to ashes. And then my phone buzzed. Unknown number. But the message made my heart drop into my stomach. Emily, it's urgent. I need to talk. It's about Ava. Carter. My fingers went cold. Why was he texting me? Why now? Did something happen? Did Ava find out something? Did the investor deal fall apart? I stared at the message, stunned. Then another text came through. This one more desperate. Please, I really need your help. Something bad happened. My breath caught. Something bad? What does that even mean? I hesitated, wondering if I should ignore him. But before I could decide, a third message arrived. Just 6 words. Please don't tell my wife anything. My heart stopped. Wife. Carter had a wife. That was the moment I realized everything I thought I knew about his betrayal was only the beginning. I stared at Carter's last message over and over. Please don't tell my wife anything. Wife. The word echoed in my mind like a bomb going off inside my skull. I felt my hands go numb. My breathing stopped. Something inside me twisted so violently I thought I might collapse right there in my father's office. Carter had a wife, not a girlfriend, not a fiancée. A wife. My ex, the man who left me for someone who believed in his dreams, had been married this entire time? I didn't reply. I couldn't. Instead, I sat frozen, staring at my phone until the screen dimmed. Dad glanced at me. You okay, sweetheart? You look pale. I snapped the file closed and forced a smile. Just work stress. He didn't believe me. I knew he didn't. But he respected boundaries, so he didn't push further. All I wanted was to get out of that office, out of that building, out of reality for 5 minutes. I excused myself, pretending I had an early morning meeting, and hurried to my car. But once I sat inside, isolation wrapped around me like a heavy blanket. The real kind of silence, the kind where the truth echoes. I opened Carter's messages again. A wife. A whole damn wife. For 4 years, I had loved him, cooked for him, supported him, planned a future with him. And the entire time, he had another life. My stomach twisted, anger rising like heat under my skin. Then my phone buzzed again. Carter. Emily, please reply. I swear it's not what you think. Not what I think. I typed back without thinking. Me. You're married? A few seconds passed. Then, Carter. Yes. But it's complicated. I need to explain. My breath caught. Complicated? How do you complicate hiding a whole wife? Me. Explain. Now. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Carter. Please don't say anything until you hear me out. I didn't mean to lie. I was going to tell you. I just need help. Help. Of course. When everything falls apart, run back to Emily. The girl who fixes things. The girl who forgives anything. The girl who has a good heart. Not this time. Before I could respond, he sent another message. Carter. Ava doesn't know I'm already married. She thinks I'm single. I closed my eyes, bile rising in my throat. He didn't just cheat on me. He cheated on her. He cheated on everyone. Carter. My wife. She's threatening to tell Ava unless I pay her. I don't have the money right now. Emily, please. I'm begging you. A bitter laugh escaped me. So this was it. He didn't want to apologize. He didn't want to confess. He wanted money. Again. Always. Even after destroying me, he expected me to save him? I threw my phone onto the passenger seat, hands trembling with rage. But then something clicked in my mind, something cold, sharp, and calculated. If Carter was legally married, then any investment dinner, any future deal, any romantic engagement with Ava could collapse instantly. And the irony, all of this was happening inside a building my father owned. He didn't know he was suffocating inside my world. But I wasn't going to warn him. Not yet. I wanted to see how deep his lies went. I wanted to understand every piece of the game he had played. And if he thought I was still the naive girl who cried while he left with his suitcase, he was in for a surprise. The next morning, I didn't sleep. Not a minute. I got ready early, dressed perfectly, and drove to the cafe where Carter and I used to sit every Sunday morning. I knew he'd pick a familiar place if he wanted to talk. And of course, he did. He was already there, sitting in a corner, wearing a wrinkled shirt and dark circles under his eyes. He looked stressed, nervous, almost scared. Good. He jumped up when he saw me. I held up a hand. Sit. Talk. He sat. I didn't. If you lie once, I said, voice shaking from contained fury, I'm leaving. Carter swallowed. I'm not lying. I got married 2 years before we met. It was a rushed courthouse thing. Stupid. I barely knew her. I stared at him. You forgot to mention that while living with me for 4 years? He flinched. I thought I could fix things. I thought she'd sign divorce papers eventually. But then she started asking for money. She kept delaying it. And now she's threatening to tell Ava everything unless I pay her off. So you're blackmailed, I said coldly. He nodded miserably. And you want me? I continued. The woman you left, the woman you cheated on, to fix your mess. His silence was answer enough. Emily, he whispered, I know I hurt you, but you're the only person who ever really cared about me. You understand my dreams. Ava won't stay with me if she finds out. Her father will back out. My business will die. I cut him off. Good. Let it die. His face fell. Please. You're my only hope. I stared at him, my heart heavy, not with love, but with disbelief at how selfish he truly was. I leaned closer, just enough that he thought I might help. Carter, I whispered, let me ask you one thing. He looked up. Does Ava have any idea who your wife is? He blinked. No. Why? I smiled. A slow, dangerous smile. Because I suddenly had an idea. A very dark idea. A very perfect idea. But before I could say another word, a cold voice spoke behind me. Actually, the woman said, I know exactly who his wife is. I turned around, and my jaw dropped. Standing there was a beautiful woman in a fitted blazer, eyes full of fury, hands shaking, and on her finger, a wedding ring. I'm his wife, she said, glaring at both of us. But that's not even the shocking part. She stared directly at me. The next words she spoke ripped the floor out from under me. Emily. My name is Ava Harrington. For a moment, the entire cafe went silent. I blinked at her, this flawless woman with sharp cheekbones, expensive perfume, and a look that could slice through steel. Ava Harrington? I whispered, my voice barely audible. She nodded once. Yes, Eva Harrington. And I am legally, unfortunately, Carter's wife. My mind scrambled to make sense of anything at all. Carter's face drained of color. Ava, wait, listen. Shut up. Her voice was a whip. Not one word from you. She sat down across from me like she owned the air in the room. And honestly, with her confidence and cold fire, she probably did. I slowly lowered myself into my seat. Emily, she said, eyes locking onto mine, I know who you are. I know what Carter did to you. And before you say anything, I'm not your enemy. I exhaled shackily. I didn't even know you existed. I know, she said. That's why I'm here. Carter reached across the table, desperation dripping from his voice. Ava, please. Let me explain. She didn't look at him. She looked at me. You want the truth? I'll give it to you, she said. Carter didn't leave you for me because of love. He left you because he thought I was a billionaire's daughter who could save him. I frowned. Thought? Her smile turned cold. My father cut me off a year ago. Carter's head snapped toward her. What? She ignored him again. My father didn't like Carter. Didn't trust him. He refused to fund his startup. Carter didn't believe me when I told him. So I let him think whatever he wanted. She leaned back in her chair. Carter assumed my last name would get him rich. He assumed he could charm his way into my family's world. Carter looked like he'd been slapped. Ava, you told me. I told you nothing, she snapped. You assumed everything. I stared at her, stunned. So you're not helping him? She let out a soft laugh. I wouldn't give him a cent even if I had billions. Carter's voice cracked. Ava, please, my company. Isn't a company, she said. It's a dumpster fire with a website. If the moment hadn't been so tense, I might have laughed. Instead, I watched Carter's panic grow. Ava turned back to me. Emily, I want out of this marriage. But Carter refuses to finalize it unless I give him money. Of course he did. Typical Carter. So, she continued calmly. I'm here to propose something. I didn't expect that. Propose what? A partnership, she said. You and me. Together. Carter slammed his fist on the table. Are you insane? Emily, don't listen to her. She's manipulating you. Ava didn't flinch. I'm telling the truth, Emily. You're the only other person who knows who he really is. You saw the lies. I lived them. I swallowed hard. What exactly do you want? I want a divorce, she said simply. And I want to make sure he doesn't walk into another woman's life pretending to be a victim. Carter grabbed my wrist. Emily, please listen to me. She's crazy. I jerked my hand away. Don't touch me. He froze. Ava folded her arms. Emily, my father may have cut me off. But I'm not powerless. I still have connections, information, and access to things Carter would never imagine. I studied her. She wasn't lying. Not even a little. And you want my help? I asked quietly. Yes. She leaned in. You want revenge. So do I. She wasn't wrong. But something still didn't sit right. What's in this for you? I asked. She smirked. Freedom. What's in this for me? Her smirk widened. Closure, truth, and maybe a little justice. Before I could respond, Carter stood abruptly. Enough. I'm done with this. He pointed at us like a villain in a cheap drama. You two don't know what you're talking about. Emily, she's trying to turn you against me. I laughed once, bitterly. Carter, you turned me against you. I didn't cheat on you, he shouted. Ava scoffed. You cheated on me. He spun toward her. We were separated. She raised an eyebrow. Were we? Carter froze. He had no answer. I watched him crumble, this man who always pretended to be in control. Then he did something I didn't expect. He dropped to his knees, in the middle of the cafe. Emily, please, he begged. I'm losing everything. I'm drowning. You're the only person who ever cared. Please don't leave me alone in this. The cafe grew dead silent. People stared. Phones recorded. It should have felt satisfying. Seeing him desperate, exposed, humiliated. But all I felt was empty. Ava stood and looked down at him. Get up, Carter. You're embarrassing yourself. He didn't move. She rolled her eyes. Emily, let's go. I hesitated for a moment. Carter reached for my hand again. Don't go with her. She'll ruin me. I pulled my hand away. No, Carter, I said, voice calm but cold. You ruined yourself. Ava tapped her phone and tucked it into her purse. Emily, we have somewhere to be. I finally stood and walked past Carter, who looked like a broken statue on the floor. Outside the cafe, the cool air hit me, clearing my head. What now? I asked Ava. She smirked and started walking. Now? Now we talk about your father. I stopped. My father? She nodded. I know exactly who he is. And I also know that Carter's little rooftop investor dinner, she paused, her eyes glinting, is scheduled for this Friday. My heart dropped. Friday. The same event in the file I saw in my dad's office. The one Carter needed more than oxygen. Emily, she said softly, Carter's entire future is riding on that event. And you and I have the power to end it. I swallowed hard. How? Ava leaned in, her voice low, dangerous, and thrilling. I have a plan, but I need access to the building owner. My breath caught. The building owner. My father. I stared at her. She smiled. You ready to bring him down? Before I could answer, my phone buzzed with a new message. It was from an unknown number. Just 5 chilling words. Emily, don't trust Ava, please. I had never felt fear like this before. Not even the night Ryan confessed everything about his past. But now fear had a face. Ryan's brother. He stepped through the broken doorway like a shadow given human form. His eyes, those eerie, almost glowing eyes, locked on Ryan, not even acknowledging me. Move, he ordered. He doesn't belong with you. I tightened my grip on Ryan's hand, though it trembled violently. No, I said, surprising even myself. You're not taking him. He tilted his head slowly, studying me the way a hunter studies prey. You don't even know what he is, do you? Ryan shivered on the floor. Evan, stop please. Evan. That was the name of the monster trying to drag him away. I positioned myself between them. He's sick, I said. He needs help. Evan smiled, a cold, chilling smile. He isn't sick, girl. He's changing. My stomach dropped. Changing? Into what? But before I could ask, Ryan weakly tugged my hand. Don't listen to him, he whispered. Emily, everything I told you that night, the promises, they were real. I swear. Evan took a slow step forward. You're dying, he said to Ryan, and she's too soft to save you. I swung the fire poker, pointing it at him. Don't come any closer. His eyes flicked to the poker. Then he laughed, a deep, rumbling laugh that made the hair on the back of my neck rise. Do you really think that piece of metal can stop me? I swallowed hard but held my ground. Try me. For the first time, a flicker of respect touched his expression. Right before he blurred. I didn't see him move. I only felt the blast of air as he appeared inches from me, ripping the poker from my hand and tossing it across the room like a toy. I stumbled back. He didn't touch me again, but he didn't have to. His presence alone was suffocating. Emily, Ryan whispered hoarsely. Get away from him. He's not human. My blood went cold. Evan crouched beside Ryan, grabbing him by the chin, forcing him to look up. Tell her, he said. Tell her what's been growing inside you since the night you stole that key. Ryan clenched his jaw. Not in front of her. Fine. Evan snapped. I'll tell her myself. He turned toward me. That key he's protecting isn't a key to a door. His voice dropped. It's a key to him. What does that even mean? I stammered. Evan smirked. That fever of his, the shaking, the nightmares, those aren't symptoms, sweetheart. They're signs. Signs of what? Evan's eyes glinted. That he's about to become one of us. Ryan's body jerked violently. A sharp, guttural sound tore from his throat, and suddenly his spine arched, his hands clawing at the floor. No, no, it's too soon, Evan muttered, stepping back. Ryan! I grabbed his shoulders, trying to steady him, but his skin burned like fire. His eyes opened, and they weren't Ryan's eyes anymore. They glowed. Right. Unnatural. Alive with something terrifying. Emily. He gasped, his voice layered with a tone I had never heard before. Run. Evan shoved me aside, not to hurt me, but to get to Ryan. He's transitioning, damn it, Ryan. Hold it together. Ryan convulsed, his breath turning ragged. His fingers curled unnaturally. His chest rose sharply. And then he stopped shaking. Completely. Still. Silent. My heart dropped. Ryan? I whispered. He lifted his head. Slowly. Deliberately. When he looked at me, it wasn't fear in his gaze now. It wasn't pain. It wasn't even Ryan. It was hunger. Emily, he said softly, in a voice that sent a chill down my spine. You shouldn't have stayed. Evan moved between us instantly. No, you're not ready. Back off. But Ryan didn't listen. He stood. Effortlessly. Too effortlessly for someone who had nearly collapsed minutes earlier. Emily, he repeated, and now something in his tone sounded fond, possessive, wrong. He took a step toward me. Evan grabbed his arm. You'll kill her. Ryan jerked free. She's mine. That single word, mine, slammed into me like a punch. Before Evan could restrain him again, Ryan darted forward. Fast, too fast. He grabbed me by the wrist, pulling me against him. His breath ghosted across my cheek. Warm. Predatory. I felt trapped between the man I loved and the creature he was becoming. Emily, he whispered. Don't be afraid. But I was. I was terrified. Evan raised his voice behind him. Ryan, let her go before you tear her apart. Ryan's grip tightened. Then something flashed through his eyes, conflict. Pain. Recognition. He shoved me backward, hard, as if afraid of himself. Don't let me near her again, he growled to Evan. No matter what. Evan nodded once. Ryan staggered, hands trembling. Take her, he rasped. Hide her. Before I. He didn't finish. His body lurched forward again, violent, uncontrolled. Evan grabbed him. Emily, he barked. Run. Now. But I didn't run. I couldn't. Not when Ryan was fighting whatever monstrous thing was consuming him. Evan, please help him. Evan gritted his teeth. I'm trying. I reached for Ryan, even though I knew I shouldn't. He looked at me again. This time, his expression softened. Just for a moment. Emily. A whisper. A plea. A goodbye. And then, he collapsed. His body hit the floor with a heavy thud. His breathing slowed. His eyes faded back to normal. He was unconscious. I dropped beside him, shaking. Evan, what's happening to him? Evan stared down at his brother, jaw tight. The change has begun, he said gravely. And once it finishes. He looked at me with something like regret. You might not survive him. Ryan's transformation has begun, and Evan warns that when it's complete, Ryan may become something that could kill Emily. The cabin felt suffocating. The air thick, heavy, as if the walls themselves were pressing down on me. Ryan lay unconscious on the floor, and Evan's shadow loomed over him, silent and tense. I could feel the electricity in the room, the danger crackling like a live wire. I'd spent months thinking I understood Ryan, believed I knew who he was. But now the truth was unraveling in front of me. He wasn't entirely human. Not anymore. And whatever he was becoming, I had no idea if he would survive it, or if I would. I swallowed hard, trying to keep my voice steady. Evan, what do I do? How do I help him? Evan didn't answer immediately. Instead, he studied Ryan with those glowing, unnerving eyes. Finally, he knelt beside him. Emily, this isn't something you can fight with your hands or heart. This is deeper. It's in his blood, his mind. It's a transformation, and it's violent. I felt my pulse quicken. Violent? What do you mean? He could hurt someone? Evan looked at me solemnly. If I can't stabilize him, yes. And the worst part is, he won't even know he's doing it until it's too late. I shivered. I had already seen a glimpse of it. the hunger, the predatory possessiveness, the flash of danger in his eyes before he collapsed. I realized then that my fear wasn't just about losing him. It was about surviving him. Then we need to act, I said. What do we do? Evan's gaze softened, just slightly. There's a way to slow it down, but it's risky. The ritual, if you can call it that, requires trust. And Ryan has to choose to fight it. He can't resist it if he's unconscious. He has to want to stay human. I nodded, determined. Then wake him. Make him fight. I won't let him be lost. Evan hesitated. Are you sure? Once he awakens, there's no turning back. He could attack you in his first moments. You need to prepare for that. I swallowed my fear. I trust him. I've trusted him through everything. I'll take that risk. He gave a curt nod and began the incantation. A low hum filled the cabin, vibrating through the wooden floors, making the air tingle. Ryan's body twitched violently as the transformation tried to claim him again. His chest rose and fell rapidly, sweat pouring from his forehead. Emily, Evan warned, keep your hands on him. Don't let go. Speak to him. He needs your voice. I knelt beside him, taking his trembling hand in mine. Ryan, it's me. It's Emily. Look at me. You can fight this. You're stronger than this. You're human. Remember who you are. His eyes fluttered open, golden flashes breaking through his dark pupils. He growled, a low, guttural sound that resonated in my bones. I could feel the danger radiating from him. Emily. His voice was hoarse, layered with something wild. I can't. Yes, you can. I interrupted firmly. Fight it. Fight it for us. For us, Ryan. Come back to me. Something shifted in him. The golden glow in his eyes faded slightly. He stumbled but kept his gaze on me. Evan stepped back, murmuring the final words of the ritual, his hands glowing faintly as he channeled the energy into Ryan. The tension was unbearable. Every second felt like a lifetime. I pressed my forehead against Ryan's shoulder, whispering, come back. Come back to me. And then finally, his body went limp and his breathing steadied. His eyes returned to their familiar dark brown, filled with confusion and exhaustion rather than hunger and threat. He looked at me, truly looked, and a weak smile formed on his lips. Emily, he whispered. I'm back. Tears streamed down my face. Yes, Ryan, you're back. I've got you. He tried to sit up, but I gently pushed him back down. Rest. Just rest. You almost lost yourself. Evan stood silently for a moment, then nodded. It's over. For now. But this isn't permanent. He'll need time, and he'll need guidance. The change will always be a part of him. I looked down at Ryan, who now held my hand like a lifeline. Whatever comes, we'll face it together, I promised. The sun rose over the forest, casting golden light through the cabin windows. Ryan and I sat together, wrapped in a blanket, exhaustion pressing down on both of us. I almost lost you, I whispered. And I almost lost myself, he replied. But you saved me. Somehow, even when I was falling apart inside, you never let go. I shook my head. You saved me too. Not just from losing you, but from hating him, from hating myself for trusting him. We survived this together. Ryan smiled weakly, still pale but alive. Together, he agreed. Evan's presence faded from the room as he disappeared into the forest, leaving us alone. I knew the warning lingered. The danger wasn't gone entirely. But for the first time in months, I felt hope. Ryan rested his head on my shoulder, breathing slowly and steadily. And as I held him, I realized something important. Love isn't about never being hurt. It's about surviving the worst together and refusing to let go when the world seems determined to tear you apart. I knew there would be more challenges. Ryan's transformation wasn't over. There would be moments of danger, moments where he might not remember who he was. But I was ready, and he knew for the first time that he wasn't alone. As we watched the sunrise, a sense of peace finally settled over us. But even in that peace, I couldn't shake the feeling that something or someone was still watching. From the shadows beyond the cabin, a figure moved silently, unseen, and its eyes glowed faintly, unnaturally, just like Ryan's had a few hours ago. A new threat, a new beginning. And I realized our battle wasn't finished. Not yet. Someone or something is still watching Ryan, and the danger from his past is far from over. The moment of peace is only temporary. The real nightmare has just begun.